Hey guys, this is Miss Sayre. I'm here in the classroom and I wanted to make a video this week to make sure that everybody understands how to do the PS2, PS3 summative assessment. This is the one where you have a couple of options. You might have chosen to do the standard test with multiple choice and essay questions. Maybe you're making a Rube Goldberg, or maybe you're making a roller coaster to show your understanding. So no matter what, make sure that you do the pre-work first. You got to do the pre-work totally finished up before you can get a score for any of those summative options. So if you haven't finished that up yet, just make sure that you hit submit on that. You should be all good. If you're doing the test, once you've got that pre-work turned in, then I will send you the link to the test, and you can go ahead and take that sometime this week. If you're doing the Rube Goldberg project or roller coaster project, it's really important to make sure you're covering all of that science in your video so you can get full credit for your work. So those 4 concepts are right here. This is the same stuff that you're showing understanding of on the test, but if you're doing the project, you have to kind of like explain this freely about how your roller coaster or Rube Goldberg machine shows these 4 concepts. So making sure that you cover the scientific definition of work, conservation of energy, kinetic and potential energy, and Newton's laws, and what that has to do with your beautiful roller coaster or Rube Goldberg machine. So I wanted to come in and make a little Rube Goldberg machine / roller coaster to show you how you might talk about some of these scientific concepts in your project. So let me turn this around and show you guys. So for the project that I put together, this is just something I was experimenting with today. It took a lot of trial and error. This whole area was a big old mess while I was trying to figure it out. And if you were building one of these machines, I'm sure you figured that out too, that it takes a lot of tweaking and trying to adjust to get your machine to do what you want it to do. The purpose of my machine is to try and ring that bell over there. So the way that this works is I've got this car and I have it set up to roll down this ramp. When the car rolls down the ramp, it's going to move this pencil away so that my little car here, I borrowed the DeLorean from Mr. Terrell, it's going to roll down the tube and knock that little carbon atom onto the belt and hopefully ring the bell. So let's give this a try. I hope it works. Hope that you're doing a drum roll for me at home. All right. Hold on to your hats. As you can see, it totally worked. So that was only take number 40 or 50 or a million. Who knows? I lost count after a certain time. So what happened here was that I had a series of steps, and all along the whole way, energy was involved. None of this could have happened without kinetic and potential energy. So when you're thinking about how to use your machine or your roller coaster, which I'm sure is a lot more impressive than mine, when you're thinking about how to explain the scientific concepts with your roller coaster, you need to be thinking about what's happening with the energy all along the way. All right, so now that I have this reset, in order for that little carbon atom to fall down and make the bell ring, I need it to have this boost of kinetic energy. Kinetic energy is another word for movement, remember, and I need that ball to move. So in order for kinetic energy to get over there, I have to put some energy into the system, because remember that the law of conservation of energy says it can't be created or destroyed. So I can't just hope that some energy magically appears here. I have to actually put some energy into the system. So my idea for that was to start the energy way over here. So I have this car, this coaster car, and my plan was to put it up on this ramp. And when I do that, it's going to roll down and cause this whole series of events to happen. But what's going on with the energy? Right now, while the car is just sitting on the desk, there's no energy happening at all. There's a little bit of potential energy because it's up off the floor onto the desk, but as you can see, it's not moving at all. There's no kinetic energy, and there's not much potential energy. There's certainly not enough potential energy stored in it to make it move because it's at the same level as everything else. So in order to start everything out, I have to lift it up and put it on that ramp. That seems really simple, but that's the energy concept right there. When I picked it up, I'm storing potential energy in this coaster car. So now when I let go, I'm going to see kinetic energy. It's going to move as it rolls down the ramp. The reason why it moves is because gravity is pulling it down. So there's this unequal force of gravity is pulling it further down, and nothing is pulling it upwards. So that allows the car to roll down the ramp. So right now, that potential energy that's stored in it right there, I put the energy in that car by lifting it up. I use some of my energy, my kinetic energy, and now it's stored in this coaster car. So we can see it transfer between potential and kinetic right there. Now I stopped it, but if I let it keep going, then this is going to knock that down, and the energy keeps transferring. This little car, this DeLorean, had some potential energy stored in it. It was sitting right there. And even though it's not moving, it had potential energy because in order to set up the machine, I placed it there. So this car is rolling down the ramp because I initially gave it some potential energy, which is stored in it. So none of the movements that are happening is energy being created. It's all energy that's being transferred throughout the system. So the amount of kinetic and potential energy is constant throughout the whole thing. So some people were asking what happens when the machine stops. So if I recreate it, at the end of the whole system, when the coaster car stops, so if this is your roller coaster stopping, or if this is the end of your Rube Goldberg machine, some folks are asking, well, what happened to the energy? Did it just disappear? But the law of conservation of energy tells us that it can't just disappear. Energy can't be destroyed, just like matter can't be destroyed. So what happens to that energy is then it's transferred into other forms of energy like heat energy, friction, sometimes sound energy. So if you think about a roller coaster car stopping at the end of a ride, you can picture the screeching wheels, that's the sound energy. There's friction as it stops along the tracks, and it's probably releasing heat energy too. If you were to touch the metal rails, it'd probably be hot too. So the energy is never being created, it's never being destroyed, it's just transferring throughout this whole system, which turns out to be pretty cool because I can do an action over here and watch something happen all the way on the other side. I hope that helps to clear up some confusion about how to talk about these scientific concepts in your videos. But if you still have some questions or if you want to talk through your project, remember that I'm always here to help you. I have office hours from 11 to 12 on Tuesdays and Thursdays. We can talk on email or Zoom or Google Meet, whatever it is that you need to get your work done. And I'm always here to help you guys out. So can't wait to see your projects, and I hope that you guys are all doing great. I miss you guys. Talk to you soon.